Warren Porker Kavanagh, the world's greatest liar. In accommodation boarding house, this man was telling us he had a $500,000 payment arriving soon, and he would all buy us a new Jeep each, and the boarding house managers were allowing this madman to impress all of us. He was allowed to take on the cooking and the Christmas dinner. The staff made out he was a great bloke. None of us suspected a thing. Porker, as we've named him, was telling lies, now putting on a big act. What the staff did not tell us, he was taking the drug Seroquel for bipolar illness. This was kept hidden from us by the staff. All the pensioners were being groomed for the big bite when we left the boarding house. We all rented separate flats. It wasn't long before Porker was biting 2 out of 4 pensioners for money, and he got 2 in his flat at different times, fighting with them over money, booted them out when they did not come up with enough money, then said to us remaining 2. One of the other two had died, and the other was on life support from 97 stab wounds. The worst mistake ever made was offering to drive Porker back to his place. It wasn't long before the borrowing began. It started low, but he would work up to $300 on Friday, my payday. I will pay you back Monday because 500,000's coming in Monday. I will also buy you a Jeep. After a while I began to realise he was all bullshit. Every time I began to tell him I had no money, he would come at something new. His kids were going to be taken off him if he didn't get the $300. Then he would make me the executor of the will, and then help him out until the 29th of January 2015. That's when his 500,000 is coming through. It's just being held up, he said, because another 300,000's interfering with the 500,000. He wanted money to buy walking frames for one of his kids, and I lent him another 3,000 on top of the rest. I told him I had no more money. Then he was saying he will commit suicide if he doesn't get $300 on Friday. He would tell his neighbour, Cowboy, to leave the premises on Thursday, the day before my payday. He would start working me over a couple of hours with his suicide the main topic if he didn't get the $300. He was also standing over Cowboy, who was on bipolar medicine, lithium, to get money out of his pension every week. Porker was claiming his own DSP pension was cut off. He was always looking for sympathy, claiming his wife stabbed him. He had a restraining order against her. That's funny. One day she rang him up and I was there. They were chatting like old friends. More schemes and scams from Porker. As usual, to stop anyone wanting their money back, Porker claimed his sister was a sergeant of police, and he was always boasting she would lock up anyone who bothered him. He was saying this because after a while the pensioners realise he's a liar. He's got no money coming in at all. He's just making up stories as he goes along every day, thinking new lies up to get money out of pensioners. The borrowing did not stop at $300. I was constantly running him to Geelong, taking my money down there and giving it to his kids. I was paying for the petrol, and very frequently he would arrive back from Geelong on my doorstep wanting money for groceries, food, and then he had a kid to a woman, and he was arriving on my doorstep wanting me to buy baby formula. To keep paying my bills I had to take out cash loans, and it all come to head on the 6th of the 10th, 2015, when he claimed he had sold his BMW to the wreckers for a small amount of money, and they put it in the crusher. I knew the wreckers where he sold it, on Grand Street, Sebastopol. I drove past next morning. The BMW was sitting in the yard for $4,700. It had his number plates on it, and that day he was sitting at the table and telling barefaced lies. No, that is not my car is in the crusher. And I hate people calling me a liar. Right then I knew there was no hope of getting my money back. I knew by watching his face that he made up lies as he went along in the conversation. I realised he was nothing but a schemer and compulsive liar, a standover merchant combined with a con man. He was not a bloke down on his luck. That's why I named him Porker, the world's greatest liar. When I left him that day, he started to leave on my phone really sick and depraved messages, trying to scare me away from taking him to court. Shortly you can hear some of the messages. This is what happens to the unwary who help a battler out. You can get your arm bitten off at the shoulder. Porker, full of threats and belligerence. Just listen to what he had to say. I will see you in court, etc., etc. Funny, when I issued court summonses, the court people were calling out Warren Kavanagh, but the courtroom echoed with silence, no sign of Porker. The court awarded me $10,000 against him, but him being a mongrel, like he is, he won't pay. So this video is launched to embarrass Porker and his tribe. Just to have a listen now to the depraved threats. This is what can happen to you when you help out the wrong person. This one became a schizophrenic madman.
If you're going to come up on your phone, well, obviously you are home, because I know your brothers have told me. So I'm going to come and see you. I haven't ripped any cunt off. If you think I have, we'll say yes. But at the end of the day, if you're going to come over to my place, being a fucking abusive to me last Wednesday, as you weren't as shit, and then you fucking lied to me and tell me that you haven't been speaking to Roy, well, have you guess what? I found out you fucking lied all the way along. You fucking have. And by the way, I would love to see you taken to court because all my family's on my fucking side. You fucked up Wednesday, abusing me, being shitty, and have a guess what? Cowboy will come to court with it and say to all my family. And I will take Roy down too, as well as the fucking shit. And choose what I found out about you. But anyhow, the book's in the police hands now, so you're reading up all about what you've done.
Received October 7th at 6:22 p.m.
Well, I'm going to have you charged for pedophilia on me, slamming the door in your sister's face, threatening to kill me with your guns. I've got about 7, 8, 9 charges that you've done to me. And Cowboy's going to come to court with me to back me up. I've just had enough about what I've done, about what I owe. Well, what about you've done to me? And I've got witnesses to back me up. And the whole street knows that you've been here every day harassing me, sexual abusing me, and threatening me. Well, I think it's time that the foot fits back in your shoes, and it will. So, I think it's time for you to go and have a holiday. And that's why the South Australian police are looking for you.
At 4:20 p.m.
Yeah, he's there. He's over there. Yeah, we'll just go to his place tonight. Alright? Fully miserable. Fucking. Only touching kids or women.
At 1:04 p.m.
Well, you're taken to my lawyer, and you're going to be charged for a lot of things. Threatening to kill me, which is on my messages. Roy threatening to bash me up, which is on the fucking voice message. A lot of things I'm going to have you charged for. And you're sitting there saying, telling Cowboy and I that you're scared of Cowboy. Well, it's the opposite. Cowboy's scared of you. And knowing that you come anywhere near my premises, you will be charged with trespassing and also assaulting my sister yesterday afternoon. Cowboy's wanted to open the front door for her. You slammed the door in her face as she stormed in. Now, you want to hurt my family? Well, you're going the wrong person, mate. You want to make lies, make accusations, well, you fuck with the wrong person. And you can take this to the coppers because you keep on telling Cowboy and I, and Roy. So anyhow, yes, I rang the publisher. You don't blame me. Fucking ring them yourself, you dickhead. And just remember, I know where you live too. By the way, while you're at it, you're sitting there saying yesterday that I've threatened you. I've never threatened you. You've come to my place every day like a little sook, demanding cups of tea, demanding this and that. You know, you're always making threats to me, so just be careful what you say and who you say it to. I mean, I am black, and I would love to see you take me to court. I would love to see you take me to court, because I've got a lot on you. And yes, I'm going to have your gun licence taken off you, because you're not safe to be around. You're unfit to have them. I've been verified that this morning. And yes, I will have the gun licence taken off you, because you're not the right person to have any guns. many people in this world as it is, and you're fucking on top of the list at the moment. It's pretty to kill me. Well, I've got evidence on my message.
Message received October 7th at 10:56 a.m.
As I was just told, Visual only comes to my place every day, sits at my place all day, sponge off me all day, watches DVDs all day. Then you crack the shit because I can't give you what you want. You're a male, I'm a male. And all you want to do is sit here and try to set me up. Well, by the way, I've got witnesses to back me up on this. So, whatever you do, I don't really care. I've got a lot of people to back me up. And like as a lot of people said, they don't trust you. And you are wanted in South Australia. And yes, I am going to contact about your book. Because it's not right. You shouldn't be dobbing everyone in. And I will be telling Roy about all the stuff that you're threatening with. I've got it all recorded on my phone. If you don't believe me, I will play it to Roy when I see him. I'll see you in court. Have a nice day. You wonder why you got no friends? It's because you try to touch everyone up. Even women and children, I've been told.
Message received October 7th at 10:21 a.m.
Well, I'm going to go through my evidence for lawyer today and I'm going to be charged for trying to attempt to fucking rape me and also fucking do sexual things to me in my place. And I've got witnesses to verify it. So just keep going, Roy. I tell you, you won't win at all. If you get to law what you did, I really wonder why the South Australian police are looking for you. Well, and I'll be telling the cops too tomorrow when I see them.
Received October 7th at 10:04 a.m.
And by the way, another thing is too, you tried to touch me up. You have a few times while I've been in the van. I felt on security. He has. And he also tried to do it here. And by the way, I've got the recording messages of all the freaking things you said you're going to threaten Roy with. So just be careful what you say. It's like my sister will take this further. You were going to get your money, you still are, but you don't have to be fucking smart and try to touch me up and freaking me and freaking Roy and everyone else. And even including Cowboy. The Cowboy doesn't want to anywhere near the premises. If you do, he will be calling the police and he'll be telling you face to face too the same thing. And I am just about ready to ring up the publisher about your book. It's all forward. If you want your money, be on a payment plan. As simple as that. But I don't know what you say I do.
10:01 a.m.
And by the way, I've got the publisher's phone number now too, and I'll be ringing him up today to tell him all about the lies that you've told about the book. I've read the book, and I'm going to hand the book to the police because it's all scams, as my sister said. So just be careful what you say, right, to people, because at the end of the day, mate, you know, you threatened me, you say, I've got Cowboy as a witness. You accused me, you slammed the door in my sister's face.
Message received October 7th at 9:59 a.m.
Good, take me to fucking court. What for? You fucking accused me, I've got witnesses everywhere. So just remember, I know where you live. Okay? If you're not going to be mature enough to pick up the phone to talk to me, come on, threaten me with fucking Roy. Roy doesn't scare me. And you don't either. You all fucking talk. Just remember who you're dealing with.
Message received October 6th at 6 p.m.
Oh, well, you're a ghost hood. Well, I'll be going to your place tonight. I'll make sure you don't have no more weapons anymore. Because you already threatened to kill me with them. I'll make sure they're going to do it.
Message received yesterday at 7:36 p.m.
Yeah, we're coming over to talk to you soon. Something seriously. We've got to sort this out. You made the choice. You're going to lay in your bed. You don't talk. Well, taken. And the police are involved. I bet you're killing these women that you seem to talk about in this book. You think I'm joking? You're going to lose your car, you're going to lose everything. You're going to be in jail soon for what you've done. Lies about the book. Touching kids, leaving them astray, you got a warrant out that we feed out. So if you don't ring, I will take it further. A lot further. You don't realise who you just fucked with after what you've done to me. You owe me a lot of money, you do.
To call back, press 22. To replay message, press 1. To reply.
Yeah, hello, I'll be reading your house in half an hour to see you.
Received yesterday at 1:29 p.m.
Yes, I was just told. How come you know so much about finding women and bodies? And also, how come you know so much about the mafias? That's what I was just told by a legal person. That's a bit sus, isn't it? Very sus. How can we know all about the bodies that you find? You know, unsolved cases, murders. Like as I said, I can't wait for you to take me to court because when we do, I'm going to have so much on you and a lot of secrets that you told me that you told me not to tell anyone. But as I said, you can't get blood out of the stone when you haven't got it. And I've got witnesses verified that you tried to turn it with me. And also to threaten to kill me. So, and not only that, I've got so much on you, and I'm glad you're doing this. I'm really glad because you told me a lot of secrets in the last 2 years. And one thing the judge is going to be asking, how do you know so much about the bodies? And that can be mixed up with the mafias. I'm going to make sure you don't have a gun licence by the end of today because you've already threatened to kill me. And even Cowboy will back you up on that. And a lot of other things. So and not only that, Cowboy just mentioned about what you call fucking Roy. The fucking idiot, fuckhead. Well, fucking Roy's not going to be like that when he hears about that in court. You fucking idiot. You need to wake up yourself. And as I said, yes, you have got a warrant out in South Australia. And yes, I'm going to have you charged for fucking trying to force the sexual activities on me. And I've got witnesses to back me up on it. So you're fucked.
To call back, press 22. To replay today at 11:34 a.m.
There's nothing you said. I'm very appreciative that somebody here at the courthouse have rang me about what you and Roy have done. But thanks for that because now I've got evidence of your book. I'd like to know how come you know so much about killing people and you saw all these bodies. And I've also got a cowboy to back me up saying that you wanted to kill somebody all the time. You've always said it. And yes, I'm going to have you charged for attempted rape. Because, you know, it's a bit uncalled for what you have done. So, you want to play your game, I'll play it. And at the end of the day, you can't get blood out of the stone when you've got no money to give. So, you know, you want to blackmail me? Well, you've done a good job because that's all it is. You and Roy have set me up. And I've got enough evidence to give this book to the judge on one of the pages that you saw bodies. I reckon you've got something to do with the Claremont killing. So, Cowboy's going to come to court with me. Plus, I've got 2 other people in the street to verify that you're here every day, for the last 12 months. So, I really appreciate this person ringing up from the courthouse because the simple fact is you just fucked yourself up. You just fucked yourself up. Yeah? So, you know, I'd just like to know how come you're saying that you know all about these bodies. Well, I reckon you've got something to do with killing. And yes, I am going to have you charged for rape, and I'm going to have you charged for a couple other things that you tried to do to me. And I've got witnesses to back me up. So, and as I said, you can't get blood out of the stone. I've got no money to give. So, you know, you can sit there and lie, as you have. But just remember, I know where you live when I do come back to Ballarat, but I don't live here anymore, so, you know, you've just made your own bag, and you will go to, and I will see you in court when I do go. And you're going to look like a fucking idiot. I will make sure you go there big time. Especially that book. And you told me you wanted that book back a few times off me. Well, now I know why. So, someone did tell me. How come you know so much about murders? And it is against the law to photograph someone, as you have. And you can't deny it because it's all on your computer. And it doesn't matter if you wipe it off your computer, well, they can still get it. And I'm prepared to go to court. I'm not scared of you or Roy. Roy doesn't own me. It's you that I want. You try to touch me up. You know, just because you can't get your money back, or you try to blackmail me now, you know, you can get whatever. You know what? You just made your own bed. I've got all the street to verify you every day. So, I'm looking forward to it. And you know what? You're going to have your handcuffs on you on that day because they're going to be asking questions. How come you know that all these bodies? It's in that book, black and white. And you don't know why you want that book back. And how come South Australia wants you for? How come you're a whitehead in South Australia? So, I've done my own homework on you. And you just fucked yourself. I'll see you in court when I do see you.
To call back, press 2.
Well, I had a phone call from the courthouse. Well, guess what? I don't live in Ballarat anymore. And secondly, I'm going to have you charged for trying to rape me. And I've got witnesses to verify it. The cowboy's going to come to court and stand and say that you did try to rape me.
To call back, press.
He had his opportunity to take me to court. He never showed up. He is what he is. He makes up stories and lies as he goes along. You can hear that in the conversation he left on my message bank. That's why I've named him Porker, the world's greatest liar. I've never met anyone telling lies so much. The Porker Files. I could almost make a mini-series out of it. What Porker is not telling anyone, some years ago he was bashing men at the public toilets and stealing their money. He would bash them until they gave him everything. His sister Kelly is the one he claims to be a police sergeant. The Ballarat police station says no one by that name has ever been a police sergeant in Ballarat. More lies from Porker. He also claims to be dying from cancer. He is going to be dead every day, every week, every Monday. He's going to be dead, get ready for the funeral, was his favourite saying. Staged by Porker to get money, like who would be hard enough not to give money to a dying man. Funny, I saw him crossing the street 8 months after I took him to court, and he was hale and hearty. More lies from Porker. Everything to do with him is lies, lies and more lies. He threatened me his brothers and sister were going to come after me. Well, I'm not concerned about that geriatric crowd going on their medical records. All are about to peg out anyway. So Porker admitted he knows people who used to bury people at sea in old stoves. So don't sell old stoves to his crowd in the Geelong Ballarat area. He also claims to be a lieutenant in the army, but when he was asked what brigade or battalion he belonged to, he could not remember. More lies and bullshit from Porker. He claims he had to flee from Maryborough area because he saw one cop shoot another. Porker showed me his M16 machine gun and 9mm pistol with silencer because I had to take a restraining order against this madman. I reported these guns to the Ballarat police. Would you be surprised to learn they weren't even slightly interested? Porker must have high connections somewhere. Rather funny, isn't it? Where if it's a lone individual with no connections with an unregistered .22 rifle, the cops are racing out to arrest him. Porker has no gun safe, no licence. He could not get a firearms licence because he's taken a dozen bipolar tablets every day. He could not get a licence because he would have to be classified as a nut. Yes, it is interesting the cops are not interested in Porker's M16 machine gun and pistol with silencer. and he also has a dozen grenades buried in his backyard. Here is someone taken bipolar tablets by the handful every day, and the cops are not slightly interested. But just watch when these nutcases go on a shooting and bombing rampage. The police will be sitting back with their eyebrows sitting on top of their head, saying, "We know nothing about it. This is all news to us." Not once did they even go around and say boo to him. It was a waste of time. It is a waste of time reporting the real criminals because they have protection. Porker admitted he's a cousin of the Russell Street police bomber. He is also a cousin of the man who killed Carl Williams. Watch out for more videos on this character. In all Porker's recorded messages, he has contradicted himself because the one who gave him all the money suddenly walked out the door, and all his threats are all about getting me to pick up the phone, which I refused to do. He has also claimed to have fits relating to cancer. When he had one of these fits in front of me, I did notice he was always on his hands and knees doing a bit of pretend shaking. If someone has a fit from cancer, they do not end up conveniently on hands and knees. They end up thrashing all over the place. More sympathy and bullshit from Porker. He also borrowed $1,000 from Roy and used to go over shaking all over when he was getting the money off Roy. Porker, a professional standover con man of the very worst calibre, to be making up stories like this to get pensioners' sympathy and then threatening them with his sergeant of police sister to stop them asking their money back. He's got to be the lowest of the low. I've read a lot of books, I've met a lot of people in Australia, but nowhere do I ever remember anyone that has stooped so low as Porker to steal, borrow, beg, and when all else fails, stand over and threaten to bash them until he gets the money. You notice he often says, "You know who you're dealing with." Yeah, I know who I'm dealing with. Big Bad Porker, a legend in his own teacup. A professional bullshit artist, a professional con artist, a pro who has been punched in the ring too often. There are two possible scenarios to the last sentence. Notice the bullshit stopped about his $500,000. Now he's claiming I can't get blood out of a stone. He's always boasting about his Aboriginal lawyer and that he is black. More bullshit to get free money. He's not black at all, just another bandwagon he's trying to flog money out of. He's also bumming all day for cigarettes. He's always trying to force the nearest pensioner to buy him cigarettes. I can name 5 pensioners he stood over and forcibly borrowed money off them. With Cowboy, for example, he insults him every day, calls him a faggot, poofter, homosexual, child molester, backhands him every day, beats him up, and a barrage of insults is thrown at Cowboy every day. He is often dragged around the living room floor, and he gets oil and rubbish smeared and poured over him, in general humiliate him to the max, and he is stripped of his pension by Porker every week. Porker gets away with it, no doubt, talking to the Ballarat police because they refuse to get a pen and paper and write anything down. Complete refusal. That's why Porker gets away with robbing pensioners. That is who he is lining up to rob in the boarding house. He wasn't interested in anyone else, just pensioners. No doubt when Porker learns about this video, he'll start foaming at the mouth. That'll be a sign he's really mad. Too bad. Remember, the first and second pensioners he had in his unit, one had died, the other one had life support on 97 stab wounds. Myself and Roy met them down the street and they were hale and hearty. More lies from Porker. He spread the stories because they didn't come up with enough money for him. He just doesn't want some money. He wants everyone's full pension. Then, like me, he wants him to go out and borrow money because he wants more money every day. Conversation revolves around who's got money. Porker makes up a whole new story every day. He's desperate to get money, even though he's cleaned out everybody. Even for $20 he starts talking suicide. If he can't get $20, Then, because he gets depressed because no one comes up with $20, he starts playing Russian roulette with a kitchen knife, his fingers spread on the table, and he starts wildly stabbing at them with the kitchen knife until someone gives in and comes up with the money. Get the picture? He's all over stab marks, self-inflicted. I have a neighbour where I live, who used to live with Porker. One night he stabbed himself in the arm with a kitchen knife, self-inflicted. The Porker Files. I have enough here to start a new mini-series. Porker used to sell himself in gay bars. You notice he's always saying, "You know who you're dealing with, don't you? Run for your lives. Big Porker on the rampage." Of course, none of this savagery appeared until